I think the mic was lowered for me. Very nice of you. Has anybody been noticing this really weird overtone when people talk? This isn't part of the poem. I'm just like, it's really weird and distracting. Not that I wasn't paying attention. Moses, you have poems written about you. You don't understand them. It's adorable. It'll be too long, but caution to the videographer. I'm probably going to like use the space a little bit because it's customary for the St. Mary's folks to read in the cage, apparently. I don't want to break tradition. Woo! The first one has a dedication to BL. High dive. I'm told by Nick, who's from around there, that there is one tall building in all of San Luis Obispo. Its acronym pronounced SLOW. I imagine the fall. News broke last week. Papers play up how you were a junior Olympian. I only knew you as he who thought Italy had disappeared. Italy is gone. I heard you complain in your distinguishable male version of Valley Girl vocal fry through the wall of other Robert's apartment where you two lived. Some substance had pinked the white around the rich blue ensos of your eyes, or chlorine did. We both hardly remember the time we kissed in the basement of Blake's, a bar hosting Thrust, a gay night for Berkeley boys. I was wearing nearly nothing, and we never told other Robert, who was living in D.C. at the time, our dirty mouths had found each other, dust to dust. Blake's is gone, and Thrust thusly. I only think of the kiss now because I'm trying to understand what it means to be living as a young gay man. It must mean nearly forgotten or inconsequential kisses, I guess, made while drunk in dark underbars in front of everyone, I guess, who isn't looking, I guess, except for Kim Yan and that tall, dark building where it ends, to understand the end of it. Mental illness is a bogus tragedy. This one inward. Wildness has a direction. It's all of them, but most of all down. Instead of flowers, your parents request a donation to the National Alliance of Mental Illness. In my room, I tend to 2 air plants. Epiphytes, they're called, and in the wild they grow adjacent to larger organisms, like nesting themselves on the side of trees receiving nutrients from the air, unlike parasites, such as mistletoe, that siphon life from the trunk. Unlike what grew within what science calls the greatest canopy, a brain. Your mind overgrown with what your uncle calls confusion. Some air plants bloom, some epiphytes are orchids. I can write of flowers for you as a collateral triteness. Memory is a memorial and a kind of blooming. You wouldn't know it from how you shaved your face, that you had all that body hair, or from your smile how much an interior can blacken unneglected. Even the most nurtured of flowers turn into themselves. I imagine you in a tank because of the beach, because I associate people with certain items of clothing. A body all core with modest arms gone to seed, which must have held the body up so often, a former diver's body. I imagine a bee makes a dotted black line behind it, cut here, as it buzzes around a flower bed. As the darkness followed your body, which you taught to be a blade, to earth, I imagine it bisects the only building that seemed right to you in the middle of the coastal black, like an ember in a pile of ash, or a voice on a plain of silence. Only opposite. A respite from the dark noise you carried, with no one looking, that no one could see. We're gonna move to the cage now. Ah! Okay, I made it. Crisis averted. I imagine myself in the cage wearing a onesie like Miley Cyrus did with a bare face, and it still hasn't arrived. So you have a suit and slacks instead. Sorry. Trigger warning, I sing in this poem.
Oh, God.
That's also a Bay Area joke. Trigger warnings. This is a form, it's called the Bop. It was kind of originated out of the Cape Canum festival. Yeah, it's kind of like a sonnet in that it introduces a problem and elaborates on it, and then kind of has some sort of faux resolution. The interesting feature of it is that it also has a refrain that's a part of the song, the Lenten song. Tuxedo Bop. There are bright disparities in the way my lover and I are drawn. We know this as magnetism. Height is one. A koala grappling the ashen salmon bark's eucalyptus trunk. The inherent absurdity of reversing the spoon. A plate atop the teacup. Little red carpet, baby, you're much too fast. More rectangle than V, we're okay with that. In heat, we rise in both ways, sex and fury. The even fur of your chest and electric fuzz. You contain the dualities of our love in your body. In the nest of night's coverage, we're safe in our sameness. But then, in light, I don't recall what initially we were arguing. You say to me, when do I get to stop being white? Little red carpet, baby, you're much too fast. You don't. The quiet truth of difference snuffs the buzz from our bodies. The black ice he understands, having come from snow, that I cannot see, I know has made us immobile. The mirror of our faces immovable, unclear, whether the dominoes falling are bone or dark wood. Little red Corvette, baby, you're much too fast. Little red Corvette, gotta find a love that's gonna last. I had two more poems, short, bear with me. Chiaroscuro. Good intentions are the most destructive, for idiocy knows no mercy. When a word you wanted to say is uttered by another, there's a sense of vindication and to perfidy that floods your veins the way light comes into a dark room with the opening of a door. This is how it is to be an open city. The dark of the room, always too dark, a simulation of lonely. The other side of the door so bright, one cannot see if it is another room or the outside, or a hall to more doors to darkness. If one can exist in the jam, there looms a threat of being halved or having uneven skin. All right, this is my last poem. I want to thank the curators, Nick, Jeff, and Sean, for putting this together. Happy LitQuake, everybody. Anthropocene. And that's kind of a neologism that scientists are using to describe a world that's not untouched by humans. Sorry for the like toadies, but I think it's appropriate. Anthropocene. 1. The body has a pearl in it. All bodies. As finite as light is heat, and the hot body has a light, dull like a disarming. Rocks aren't always solid as, so pearls are little planets. 2. One moves through a niche like a glowing needle moves through a Christian station on the FM band on its way to 4 to the floor. Smoke from the cigarette's tip budding like an itch, rose-shaped, through a city of angles. One only sees orange when inspiring. 3. Without the advent of time lapse, we would never see change. Pupils in the future will be the size of dimes. Extra fingers, well, we knew about those. All the more reason to feel the end of it. Thank you.